I guess I stopped that video a little prematurely, but this is your fuel cutoff right here. And you can see it's connected into the coil. Everything that goes to the carburetor should be connected to the positive side of the coil. The negative side of the coil goes down here to the condenser. So on the positive side, you'll almost always find a Y wire. One goes here to the automated fuel shutoff, and the other one comes over here to the automatic choke. Am I showing that? No, there it is, automatic choke. If you haven't messed with the choke, generally you don't need to, but sometimes they will get stuck, and when you rebuild a carburetor, you'll go ahead and you'll change that. Now, this is like I said, this is a 30 pick too. This is a generic Chinese one. They're about $35, $40. They run perfect. A lot of people will run down the Chinese parts. The difference is that in 10 or 15,000 miles, I'll be spending another $30 to get a new carburetor instead of spending $250 to get a German one that will last me another 10 or 15 years. These Chinese ones, you use them, you'll get a couple years out of them. You'll get a 10, 20,000 miles, and then just throw them in the gutter and go buy another. It's a lot easier that way. Also, as long as you understand what you're getting, generally you don't get disappointed. So that's that. Now, if you're having trouble setting anything, feel free to take video of your car, send it to me. I'll take a look at what you have going on. I'll point out places to kind of check. We talked about air leaking in, usually here and down here. If you have things like, if you're running a dual port, you'll generally have end castings that come up from here. So you'll have two that come in, and then there'll be like a rubber gasket here. You'll have what they call the center. And then on the other side, again, you'll have an end casting that comes up with another rubber here. And the rubbers can go bad over time or loosen up. And for those, the best way to test for leaks is you get starter fluid or carb cleaner, and you spray carb cleaner in and around some of these gaskets. You don't need a lot. You just go psh, 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 psh. And what'll end up happening is if your idle ticks up, in other words, the car starts idling or running faster without you doing anything except just spraying that little fuel next to either an end casting or a connection point. If the idle picks up, that means you have an air leak. And what it's doing is it's sucking that starter fluid or the carb cleaner into the system and basically, solve the problem and then go back and, again, set your idle. Once you set your idle, set your air fuel. And I've taken this engine from running like shit to running brand new. I picked it up. I have no idea what the motor actually is or how well it is built. I know I have approximately 100 pounds of compression in every cylinder because I've checked it. But beyond that, I know nothing about this motor other than how it's running right now. And right now it's running beautifully. I've taken it apart a bunch of times. I've put it back together from the top. But that should solve 99% of the issues, and obviously making sure that things like connection points on the alternator or the battery are good. Sometimes having a loose wire on your alternator or having a loose ground strap will also cause the issues that you're having because you're not getting a good circuit. And then by gassing it, believe it or not, what ends up happening is the distributor can go a little bit faster. The alternator can basically set, or the generator can set a good field that then basically takes over for the bad battery connection that you have. But beyond that, like these are really simple cars. Give them what they need and they'll run forever.